Hi. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Rebellious Sacred Heart Podcast. My name is Christina, and I will be sharing my journey with you, basically. My journey of self-discovery that basically turned into a journey of spiritual awakening. The awakening of truths, the realization of lies and deception that is all around us. And as I began to realize and research and investigate the stories and accounts of the things I was hearing and being told about the world, in the world, all the things, I start to discover some discrepancies. Let's just put it that way. Start to realize that not everything that we hear, not everything that we are being told, whether it's in our direct world or the world around us, it's not always true. And definitely the things that we have been taught in school, because we didn't really have a choice in going to school, did we? Education system is another construct that was created for us in efforts to program us to a certain extent. And whether or not you believe that, it's up to you, but maybe it's something that you could explore. I just really like to ask questions. The motto I think that I have lived with for a long time was that I fly by the seat of my pants and I hope they don't rip. I'm a lover of life. I've always been happy, joyful, that happy-go-lucky person that's always smiling and optimistic and fun and maybe the life of the party. I've been called that. But I really just it's natural for me to be happy. But as I started questioning the world around me and the things that we believe as a society or as a culture about events of the world and different things like that, you start to discover some lies, some bold lies. And once you do some research and investigate these things and come to your own truth. The truth is different for everybody. And I'm not trying to get anybody to believe anything or disbelieve anything or any of that. That is not the point of this podcast. It's really about the journey of self-discovery. Excuse me. My throat chakra is on fire because it is not used to me talking like this. I promise you that never in a million years, let alone 3 years ago, if you would have told me at any point in my life, if you would have told me that I would be sitting here with a microphone in front of my face talking on a podcast that I'm doing myself, I tell you, you're fucking crazy. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm being as real and authentic and honest with you as I can because that's all I know how to be. I just didn't think ever that it would have involved talking to people in this manner. But I have been compelled, guided, pushed to speak my truth, to share my stories. And again, not because I want anybody to believe anything one way or another. I just want to invite people to be curious, maybe to ask questions. How about questioning our own beliefs, if we want to start there? Why do we believe certain things? And maybe more importantly, why aren't we willing to question it? Because if you think about it, most of the beliefs and the feelings that we have about any given subject, person, thing, whatever you want to put in that place, the things that we believe weren't exactly chosen consciously to believe something. Most of the things that we believe, and this is how I have felt. So let me just say, this is me. This is how I'm looking at it now. Most of the things that I believed were chosen for me. They were integrated for me by the family I was born into. We all have that. We don't have a choice in that. How we're brought up. And the beliefs that our parents have, or that their friends and family have, that we end up believing by default. So, and then as we get into school, I don't even want to talk about that, but we do. Into school, where we're being taught by teachers in an education system, a system that was created for us by people that we believed had our best interest at heart. But as you look deeper, go back further to the inception of education and what that meant, and who was behind the creation of it, makes you start to question if the things that we were taught are true. And while there may be truths within the information that we were taught basically to memorize and conform to and believe, a lot of that stuff is false. A lot of that stuff can be explained in a truer manner that's very different than what we were told or led to believe. And I don't blame anybody. I don't blame teachers or anybody else, because guess what? They were also taught. They were taught to teach. So, we kind of all just were taught to memorize things. And then we were taught to memorize the same things the same way, regardless of your personality, your learning style, because everybody learns differently. But we were taught to conform. Well, that suddenly feels like control to me. So these are things that I question and almost had to empty myself of the past and prior beliefs, because there's way more information out there and way more truth about the world, and mostly about ourselves, that things have been hidden from us. I think that our true spirit of what being a human means on this earth has been delusional. But it was a delusion that was ultimately created for us. So I think once you start to explore these things and question these things, you'll find your own truth. And that's really what I want to invite you to do, is to get curious. Because believing all the things that we're being told in this world and the way why are we being divided? We're either being divided or we're being controlled and put in a box. Because the education system, they have a grading system. We all have to learn the same things, basically memorize things that we don't really have a basis for why we're learning them other than what we're being told. Because I don't know about you, but when I was in school, if you questioned a teaching, no matter who the teacher is, if you questioned something, or if you questioned the text that they were teaching, whatever it was, I don't know, were you praised for that behavior? Or were you considered rebellious? Were you chastised for it, or made to feel stupid, or made to feel less than? Because I sure as shit don't remember anybody getting praised for questioning the teacher. That did not happen anywhere in my life. In fact, we were pretty much taught not to question authority in any way. Well, why is that? Isn't that why we're here? To question things, to explore things, to experience things. Like, you were born into this body. You have a soul. You have a higher self. Your heart is basically the essence of the heart of God, or source, or creator, whatever you want to call that. I don't put God in a box, so you can call it what you want. It's the highest. It's just the highest. It's everything. You can't explain what the higher power is. Some people call it God. Some people call it creator, source, higher self, angels, all the things. It's all fine. To me, it's almost kind of like all the same thing. So whatever that is to you, I'm pretty sure that the point of our experience is to figure this out. It's to find that connection that we have to our higher self, to God, to source, to the higher power, whatever you want to call it. But I just don't want to be in a situation or in a belief that I haven't explored why I believe it, or taught why I should believe it. And that's all I should believe, because I don't necessarily believe that I need to fear God. He loves me and I love him. Or him doesn't even sound right, because God to me is not, there's no gender involved. It is the spirit. It is an essence. I don't really think that you can describe it with a word. But anyways, that's kind of the point of why I'm here, is that I've questioned a lot of things, and I've been on this journey of self-discovery, and I found out that a lot of the things that I used to believe, I no longer believe. A lot of the things that I used to be fearful of, I'm no longer fearful of. And the things that I now have brought into my life, the practices that I've brought into my life, bring me so much joy. Bring me the sense of connection to my truest and highest self. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for everyone. So that's what I'm here to share. I'm here to share the story of my journey. To tell you the story about my out-of-body experience, and how when you ignore a calling, or when you ignore your higher self trying to connect with you, and you don't explore that, life, God, source, universe will find a way to get your attention. And mine just so happened to be with an out-of-body experience last year. And that was pretty interesting. But wow, was it highly synchronistic. The things that I was looking at and reading and researching about myself at that time, kind of on the down low, because I wasn't sharing a lot of this at this time. Spirit has a way of getting your attention. Let's just say that. And creating space where you weren't going to create it for yourself. because I think the journey of self-discovery and connection to your highest self is something that is wanted for each and every one of us. And it is 100% available to each and every one of us. It's just a matter of how much you are willing to have courage to question your own beliefs, because we tend to be scared of doing that. I don't know if it's because we don't know what we'll find, or we don't want to feel stupid, or we don't want to feel condemned by others or ridiculed or not part of the group. But that's absolutely what we need to do, because that's the only way you really find yourself. You find out who you are. Because who I am and the things that worked for me may not work for you. But something is maybe going to resonate with you, or you will start to see the signs of what your highest self would like you to explore by maybe, putting another YouTube video out that talks about tarot and oracle cards. Something you would have never thought that you would have done, which is me too. So not only did I never think that I'd be here talking to you with this microphone in my face, which feels really weird, putting it out there to the world, putting myself out there to the world. No, never would have thought. But I also never, ever would have thought that I would have been using daily tarot and oracle cards, because in the Lutheran world that I grew up in, tarot cards were demonic. They were evil, of the devil, witches. I can think of all the different things that made me fearful of that. I believed it too. But did I know why? No. I only knew what I was taught and what I was told by others. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be your pastor. It could be your parents. It could be your friends. Everybody's got opinions that we want to push on each other, but it's usually based on other authoritative type figures that are put in a position to tell you certain things. And they don't even know. Like, I don't know. And to me, anybody who says that tarot or oracle cards are demonic or evil or going against God hasn't researched it, going back to the history of it and why using cards became a divination tool and a way for God, your God, with the best intentions in the name of love and all of that, was a way to speak to you. But somewhere along the line, the patriarchy came through and didn't want you to find how to connect to yourself. I promise you that. Because when you figure out who you are, when you find the spirit within you and you realize that you can tap into that and you can communicate with that and that you are loved unconditionally right here, right now, where you are, you get so much empowerment from that. It empowers you. It feels good. Those are the things that we should be wanting more of in our lives. And that's what I want for you. I want to help you love yourself. I want to help you explore different ways to help you try to find and get that connection going with your higher self. Because you're never alone. And I know a lot of times when we start these journeys and don't even realize we're on them, honestly, I don't think always. It just kind of happens. One thing leads to the next thing. And as long as you're not, getting thrown off the path by somebody else, keep exploring. Because once you find that within yourself, oh my gosh, the world is beautiful. And yes, even amongst the chaos, the bullshit, and all the crap that's going on right now, the fear of everything around us, the division, you can break free from that. That does not be a construct that you buy into. Like, you have the choice. You really do. We think we don't, but we do. And that's one of the things that we'll be exploring. And it's all connected. One thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing. So, once you realize and really can start grasping the fact that we are all energy, that we are not our bodies, we are in our bodies, and we created this body, chose it. Helps you start to take care of it a little differently. It helps you start to weed out some past beliefs, because most likely they were limiting beliefs. And we kind of do that to ourselves and we don't even realize it. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I did it. I was there. I did not love myself and I did not love this world. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And why is everybody stomping on my joy? Like, the whole world, everything around me is shit. And I just want to be happy. Well, I kind of found a way to live in that joy and find that happiness and love within myself first. And believe me, it's been a process. It's not easy. I know it. And it feels like a lot of work, for sure. Because you're basically going against everything you've been telling yourself for your entire life. And not everyone, I know. I thought I loved myself, but then there was those times that I didn't love myself. So what I realized is that I don't truly love myself if I still have those moments. So, okay, why? Fine. I'm hopefully 90% of the way there, because I still have it. I still have to catch myself and be like, where'd that thought come from? Because that was not me. That was old me. Bye. Like, get the fuck out. I'm all about loving myself now, because it sure makes it easier to love everybody else too. Because guess what? We shouldn't be judging anybody else. I know, again, easier said than done. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect in any of the things that I'm going to talk to you about. I am human. But in my humanness, I am perfectly perfect, just as the Creator wanted me to be. And I'm on this journey where I'm at, just as it was planned for me. And just as this microphone in front of my face right now talking to you is part of the plan. I mean, that is so very clear. And I will at some point tell you and share with you all the synchronicities and signs that have led me to believe, to know that this is what I'm meant to do. And it's going to get saucy and spicy, and I'm going to fuck up once in a while, and I'm going to say shit wrong, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. It's really just about sharing. It's about creating a community. I want people to know that you're not alone and that you're not perfect, but none of that matters. You're perfectly perfect right where you are. Accept where you are. Don't judge yourself. Go easy on yourself. Be gracious to yourself first. We shouldn't be angry that we've been duped and we believe things that we knew deep down there was more to it. Be grateful for where you are now. Be grateful for the courage that you're going to start building to question things and be okay with the new way that you believe something to be. Because you eventually come to a point where you just know things. It's no longer a belief. There is a knowing that is within me that I know right now that I'm on the right path and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I can tell you about what got me here, but not all of you are going to believe that that's the thing. That's the thing that made you do this. What the fuck? And that's okay. But we all have that potential to find that place where we know things from. That you can't necessarily explain it in words or timelines. But you just know. And that it's okay that other people don't get it. It's okay. I don't need anybody else to get it. It just is. I'm the only one that gets to know my stuff and my truth. You get to know your stuff, your belief, your truth, your knowing. But if you're not there yet, then come back and listen to some of the things that I share and stories of the things that have happened to me and the things that I have come across in my research and investigation, and then how my higher self guides me during all of that. Once you start to be more present, once you start to be more aware of what's happening around you, noticing the numbers on the clock. And if you're seeing 111 or 1111 or 101 or 444, whatever the number is, if you're seeing things like that, that's a good place to start where your higher self is trying to get your attention. You might not believe that, but if you stop with the disbelief, then maybe you'll start to see. Don't reject something just because you don't get it. I think that the things that people put their walls up on or put their hands up on or don't want to hear or don't want to explore truly end up being things that they're scared of. And if you were to say that to them, they'd tell you to fuck off probably, but it's true. It's things I was scared of, but I didn't realize it. It's not until you start opening your heart, releasing the things that you thought you knew. It's almost like rebuilding, because we are responsible for what we are creating. And I'm doing this podcast because I want to create and help raise the vibration of this world. The division, the anger, the death, just the ugliness of this world right now, the chaos and the crisis and confusion, all the fear. That's not the world I want to live in. I don't know about you, but why? My God, in the way I believe that to be, wouldn't put me here for that. So if it's lessons, well, giddy up, let's learn them. Because it isn't your teachers that is going to tell you anything. Everybody else is working on habits and beliefs that were created for them. I'm just going to challenge you to empty those away, open your heart, and explore a new way of believing and living and knowing and loving and spreading happiness and being happy truthfully, authentically from within you, and spreading that. I want to spread love, not hate. I don't care about people's, I don't care what your beliefs are. It doesn't, it only matters for you to care about yours. But if you want to explore a new way of looking at life from a brighter, more joyful, more loving and accepting way, then come back and let's see how we can help each other along. Because I want us to be here for each other. We need each other. It's not just about ourselves, but if we want to change, because I don't know if I said this already, but change takes courage. Something I never thought I had, in which I think I did say that. But love is what we need to set our foundation in. And that if we want to see change in the world, we can't control a lot of the things that are happening. We can't control other people, honestly. Not one other person can we control other than ourselves. So, if we want to even have the opportunity to change the world around us, that change starts with us. It starts with you. And it wasn't until I started exploring what that meant to me that has, even though it's brought the challenges, getting through each and every one of those challenges, those obstacles, all of it, it's brought me to a brighter place, a more exciting place, a place that I love to be in. I look forward to waking up every day and seeing what the universe is going to bring to me today. How is it going to get better today than it was yesterday? Because it always does. Every sign, every synchronicity that I get throughout the day, and I promise you there's a lot, I'm like, thank you, angels. Thank you, spirit. Keep them coming. How can it get better than this? And when you acknowledge those things and you start learning what they mean to you, that's where you find your joy. Find your joy. And let that be what moves you. Let that be what challenges you. Because ultimately, it will be the highest version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Isn't that truly what we want for ourselves? I mean, I have children, I have grandchildren, and I want the best for them. Now, I can say that, but what does that mean? I want them to be their best, most authentic, awesome self. I want them to find their passions, the things that they love doing, the things that make them feel happy. I don't want them to be molded by society and believing what they can and can't do based on someone else's opinion. So why would I do that for myself? Why would I limit myself when I don't want the people I love to be limited? I don't want the people I love to be controlled. So nor do I want that for myself. But that change starts with me. I get to be the leader in my world. That's stepping out of the box, out of the norms. That's the part of being rebellious. And why is rebellious generally looked down upon? Oh, they're a rebel. She's a rebel. I've heard that probably since I was in grade school, so this is quite meaningful to me. But rebellious is basically characterized by expressing resistance. It's having an individual response or belief to something. But it's because it's a defiance of authority or status quo. It challenges the norm and it doesn't conform. That's rebelliousness. And I'm embracing that. I love that. And then the sacred part of this podcast and the name. Sacred, by definition, is the power, being, or realm understood to be at the core of existence and to have a transformative effect on lives and destiny. It's associated with divine power. Being sacred, living in a sacred place, is living in your divine power. It's at the core of your existence. What's at the core of your existence? Your highest self, your heart, your truth, your authenticity. That's your most awesome self. Your most awesome self is sacred. And what is the heart? The heart is the core of who we are. It's also the seat of our consciousness. By definition. It's not just what I think, it's what they say. There are some things that are out there that are truthful, but it's never what they focus on. And by they, I mean just whoever you want to call it. But the heart is your gateway to your inner guide, your highest self, your soul, your God source, whatever that is to you. It does not need to be defined because it cannot be defined with words. But when you feel it and you share it and you love it and you live in it. And that's what I'm doing right now. It's what I'm inviting you to do. Get curious. Be courageous. Let's not live in that fear anymore. Let's not live in the fear of change either. Find out who you are. I'd love to help you. And if anything that I share with you gets you to be curious on something, then that's a win. It's baby steps. We're all learning, and we learn until the day we're not here anymore, and we go on to bigger and better things. So I just want to help in any way I can to share my love, share my stories, share the journey, share the different things that have helped me get there, that I've discovered along the way, and to be here for your challenges. I would love to create a community that is just about sharing and exploring and asking questions. Like, are you going through any of this stuff right now? Are you wondering what the fuck is going on and now you don't know what to do? You got to start somewhere. So, but that's up to you to figure out where that might be for you, because your higher self is probably giving you an idea if you take the time to stop and pay attention to it. So, as I end this initial introductory episode, I want to thank you all. If you've made it this far, hopefully it's not just my 3 friends. I hope there's going to be more of you. And whenever this message reaches you, I love you. I love you. Love yourself. I want you to be here. I want you to come back. But that's your choice. And if you do choose to, you can like this and maybe subscribe to the channel, share it with people if you feel like it's something that, might help somebody else. But put comments down. Let's start a community. Let's get involved. Share your story. Share your truth. Share your struggle. Share your question. And I would love to give you my take on it. Doesn't mean it's going to be right or wrong, but you'll know if it's something that resonates with you. Not everything is, we put right and wrong as labels, good and bad as labels. I don't think there's that. I think that's also a construct. There is no right and wrong. Everybody's right in their own truth. But if they want to question their own truth, let them get there. Let's all get there. Because we just want to live our highest and best self. I think we all want to be free. I think that's one thing we can all agree on. Everyone wants to be free. I want my family to be free. I want to be free to make my own choices and live in my own beliefs, in my own knowing, without outside control. And in order to create that, that's something I have to do. It's something that I'm doing right now and will be doing for the rest of my life, because I don't think this is just a portion of the journey. This is just a portion of the journey. It doesn't end. Like, it's not a job where it has a lifespan. So embrace life with a rebellious, sacred heart. Come back. Let's explore this life. Let's look for experiences and share our joys, share the heartaches, share the challenges, and go through it together. I would love for you to come back and join me in the next one. I don't know yet what I'll be talking about, but I have a feeling the out-of-body experience is a big one. So probably share that with you, and many, many, many things to come. So I love you all. Enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.